Good morning.
Welcome to Show It Here. Welcome to Show It Live here on ShowItHere.com. I'm Phil Denny, and
I'm Elizabeth Langford.
Elizabeth Langford. She's super awesome. Welcome to the show. We have a really good show.
We are so excited. Yes. We're so excited that you guys are watching. We have a really awesome guest today. We have a couple of fun things to talk about before we get to her. I think there is a featured article from ShowItHere.com. Hopefully you guys are reading that and checking out all the amazing articles that our community is putting out for us. Yeah. And Field chose one this morning that just like really grabs at the heartstrings. So tell us about that.
Yeah, well, there's this article written on ShowItHere.com. Rachel Earl put it up, and she's fantastic. But the article is called "Giving Back: Sleep Tight Kids," and it's about this nonprofit, and she goes through and kind of interviews them, so you can go and find out a little bit more about it. It's a really neat organization. These people have huge hearts. I encourage you to just go read and check out what they're all about, because it really is super awesome. There's some great pictures of kids receiving like stuffed animals and all that.
Oh, that's awesome. Because you need one of those when you're a kid, right? Like you need your own stuffy.
I actually still, my mom was one of those that saved everything from my childhood.
Oh, I love it.
So I have a box of my old stuffed animals. I love those things.
That's sweet. Now, so is there room for Carrie in bed with all these stuffed animals?
No, she sleeps in the non-children bed. She has like a regular adult-sized bed. I sleep on.
You're like a race car
with my stuffed animals. I wish.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
I wish, yeah.
Right? Sometimes you just want your own race car bed.
Well, yeah, with like a little CB so I could call other race car beds.
That would be amazing.
That'd be the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, it would be a little weird, for a grown man, but that's cool.
Yeah.
That's all good.
Yeah.
And then I think we wanted to talk a little bit about mobile conversions. Yeah. And I know a lot of people out there have been converting their sites and they're looking amazing. Mm-hmm. And there are some that are just so sweet. We just kind of wanted to talk about them, and if you guys in chat have any questions, we can come back maybe at the end of the show and answer any questions that you have about mobile. But show us what you got. Field has the brand new iPhone 6 Plus.
Indeed.
It's larger than my face. It would not fit in my pocket, unfortunately, so I won't be stealing it from him. But it's pretty sweet, and it can do this like casting thing to his screen where he can see. So lots of new toys in the new. Oh, it's not working.
It kind of working, and
good.
Then it stopped working.
We are having a morning of technical difficulties, but I want to give a shout out. There are some people online right now that I know: Angie Urban and Beth Dane and Rhonda Bowman. Thank you so much, and Carla is online, and we're just so excited that you guys are here. Mm-hmm. And we have a really special person to talk to today who loves donuts, and who also has a little connection to Sweden.
Yes.
So we're excited for that. And Field's phone is not working.
It doesn't
right now. It's not playing nice.
The phone's working fine.
So are we ready to jump over to our?
I feel like
he feels like he can do it. Should we give him a chance, internet, to like pick it up and do it?
Always say no in giving Field a chance.
But now in the rules of what is it? Improv, you always say yes, right?
Yes.
In every situation, you always say yes.
Yep.
But it's not working.
This is not one of those.
The iPhone 6 is saying no. I don't want to play that game.
No.
So our guest today comes all the way from Maryland.
Maryland.
Which makes sense because she's super Mary.
Oh, I was going to say every third lady there is named Mary.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's why they named it Maryland.
Oh, okay.
That's not true at all.
I didn't believe you, but
I looked it up on the internet and it was a Yahoo answer, so I doubt it was true.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So I just love this girl, and I'm so excited for her to talk to us, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about what she's doing in the off season to stay busy. We are starting our wedding season here in Arizona. It's like really getting real, and everybody's going to get really busy, but the rest of the wedding world is starting to slow down a little bit. And so if you guys are kind of feeling the relief of quiet time, but then the crunch that's going to come from it, we're going to ask Tara. This is Tara Peddicord from Maryland. She's a wedding photographer in Maryland, and I just love and adore her. And she's sort of my East Coast best friend, and she doesn't even know it.
Well, welcome, Tara. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thanks, guys. It's so exciting to be here. And listen, Elizabeth, I feel like it's time that I confess to you that you are my Phoenix best friend.
Yes!
So it feels like it's the right time to say
it's
that.
It's a thing. Oh, I'm so excited. It's official.
It's official. It's official. And yes, I am indeed from the Maryland of Maryland. Yeah. And so it's good to be with you guys today.
So for those of us who this is my first time meeting you. Today,
Yeah, and it's been good so far.
So far, I mean, I haven't let you down yet, but
Not yet.
hold tight. So for those of us who don't know that much of it, tell us a little bit about Tara Peddicord and your business as well. What do you do?
Sure.
Who are you?
Yeah, well, I am primarily a wedding photographer in the Annapolis, Maryland area, but Maryland would fit inside of Arizona, so that's pretty relative. So yeah, I've been married for 7 years to my great husband Ben. I have been a wedding photographer for about 3 years now. I get to do some other things, for friends and things. I get to do families and maternity shoots every now and again and things like that. But weddings are kind of my favorite thing. And so that is what I've been blessed enough to do. So
that's
yeah.
Awesome. That is super awesome. So so another thing that you do occasionally is there's this thing called Instagram, which is out there. Some of our guests may have heard of Instagram.
Yeah, no, a few probably.
Yeah.
I do love Instagram.
Yeah,
I am a grammar of sorts.
You are a grammar of Insta.
That's right.
So we have this little plate here, and it says something to do with you and Instagram, trying to tie it all together.
It's weird.
There's this Instagram account called the Truth About Donuts.
And it popped up just the other day. You know how you'll see in your Instagram feed, like your friend so-and-so is on Instagram as such and such. And I saw Angie Urban created an account called The Truth About Donuts.
Right,
but
Angie Urban. She sounds like a neat lady.
From Tara Peddicord. So I want to know the story behind this, because some of these are they're really hilarious. Like donuts.
You think so?
Parenting adolescents, right? And if the Gilmore Girls talked slower, they'd have time to eat a donut.
But that is true. I mean, right?
You know what? I am embarrassed to admit I've never seen a single episode of the Gilmore Girls.
There's nothing to be embarrassed about that.
But it's now on Netflix, and the internet is like so excited. Like all of Gilmore Girls is on Netflix, so I feel like it's probably the next thing I'm gonna binge watch while binge eating donuts. So tell us, what's the deal with The Truth About Donuts? Where'd that come from?
Well, here's the thing. First and foremost, my Instagram handle is T Peddicord Photo. So on the record, I don't really know what you're talking about, but there might be. Here's the thing. I just think that there's a lot of truth to be found in donuts. And one day, my dear friend Angelsa Urban was just struggling with some of the lies that we tell ourselves. And I just encouraged her that donuts never lie. They just don't. So, eat a donut. And I don't really know what to say about The Truth About Donuts. But here's the thing. I think that basically there's a lot of things in life that you can say, listen, I need a donut because fill in the blank.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The other week, my plane was delayed, almost canceled, and there was a Dunkin' Donuts to the side of me. And I thought, you know what? Donuts, because airplanes.
Yes.
And am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And donuts, because parenting.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So there's just a lot of truth that you can find, little nuggets of truth. There might be other really inspirational advice that you can find on Pinterest.
None better.
Why? When you can just turn to The
donuts.
Truth About Donuts. That may or may not be written by somebody that you may or may not know.
By humans. We don't even know if it's humans. We have a robot.
It could be a bot. Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
really.
It could
I don't
be the
know.
show
You don't
robot
know.
behind
Who
the whole
knows?
thing.
Show robot does love him some donuts.
Who knows? And I remember talking to you about this flight that you had, where you pretty much thought you were going to have to put your own bags on the plane. And
I did think
maybe
that.
Serve,
That's right. We did
serve
have that
drinks to
conversation.
other people. So donuts make sense.
So
donuts, because airplanes. It's just how it is.
Another thing that I'm really interested in here is we have these Swedish fish here, which I am highly addicted to. See, you even have a nice little bag of Swedish fish. I'm highly addicted to Swedish fish.
They're good.
I'm very excited that they're here. But there's a reason they're here. You were recently a bridesmaid in a traditional Swedish wedding.
I was, and if anybody is watching that knows Swedish culture, that sentence in and of itself would be somewhat of an oxymoron, because
Traditional
Swedish weddings don't have any bridal party. So a dear friend of mine got married to a Swedish man. She is American. And so there was a wedding in Sweden, and I got to shoot some of the wedding because I was her maid of honor. I didn't really get to shoot so much, but I was really excited to get to do some portraits with them and everything. And yeah, but I got to be a part of the whole experience of a traditional Swedish wedding, plus a little American flair. And it was really very different than anything I've ever been a part of. And I might say like the most fun wedding I've ever been to.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's awesome.
The Swedes know how to party. I mean,
I will give you that.
Yeah. And
they know.
And it sounds like, did it go on for a really long time? Like, is they party into the night?
They do. Well, so the wedding was in June, and in June the sun sets in the south, kind of middle south of Sweden for like 2.5, 3 hours. So yeah, so the ceremony was at 2:00 in the afternoon, and we left the reception at 2:00 in the morning, and the sun was coming back up. So it's a full day event. So imagine being the wedding photographer for that. She arrived for the getting ready photos, 3 hours earlier than that, and 15 hours later, your wedding day is done.
Wow. Yeah. 15. Yeah. I mean, that's almost like a double wedding, because most of the weddings I shoot like 7 or 8 hours at max, right?
Right.
So,
wow. Yep.
That's crazy. And you had told me, Tara, when we were at the Pursuit conference and we were talking about this, you had told me something about like they don't traditionally do dancing. Is that like, tell us a little bit about like a reception at a traditional Swedish wedding?
Yeah, so that's probably the most fun difference, and I was very unsure of what that was going to look like, because when I heard there wasn't really going to be dancing, maybe a little bit at the end, I thought, in what way can this be fun? Yeah. But you eat all day, so there's that.
We like that.
And as we sat down for the reception, it's kind of like an open mic night at the reception. Nice. There's like these Toastmasters that keep it going. And it was everything from like lovely heartfelt toasts to the bride and groom, as well as like Jimmy Fallon style lip syncing with the bride and groom. There were, like quizzes. How well do you know? I mean, just anything. So it's a lot of fun. Just lots of laughter, a really good time. Just so many different things happen during the reception. And then at midnight, after having a snack, of course, then we went on to do some dancing because she was American. And so,
because
donuts. You dance because of donuts.
Yeah, right. You dance because donuts. That's the truth, Elizabeth. You gotta burn those calories somehow.
For donuts. It's a little.
But
it's a little.
That's
different.
a whole. We can't talk about that on the internet.
Oh, you shouldn't. Yeah. So, we had you on the show today because of something else you do that's awesome. You kind of have ways for us to keep busy during the off season, because we're heading in. A lot of the country's heading into the off season. Not all of the country. Arizona's not. Parts of Florida aren't. Yeah. California, I don't know if they have an off season. So ways to kind of stay busy and to keep your creative mind going and all of that. Now, is part of that going to Swedish weddings?
Part of that could be, but I don't know that a lot of Swedes get married in the winter either, because no sunshine. So that's hard. Yeah. But that could be something. If you can get to a Swedish wedding in the off season, I encourage it. It is a good time. Yeah.
So what are you doing to stay busy as the weather is probably getting chilly and looking gorgeous in Maryland and the leaves are changing?
Yeah.
What does that look like for your business?
Well, I would say for me, October is probably my busiest month. It is winding down. It's kind of, we're getting to the end, a couple weddings in November, and that's pretty much it. Last year I did have a December wedding that was sort of a Christmassy theme. But yeah, so we're winding down from this, the peak of the beautiful fall colors and cooler weather and lots of things. Everybody wants their Christmas card photos for their fan, whatever. So that's now. And then you're right, like you said earlier, you do take a little bit of a breath. But the reality is then reality sets in and you've got to figure out what's next. And a couple of things that I do or try to do is, I feel like that's kind of the back of the house time for my business. Mm-hmm. I take advantage of the fact that I'm not culling and editing weddings every week, and all those little things, that dead link on my website that I swore I was going to fix, I'm going to do it in the off season. Portfolio updates, because it's been a while since I've really looked at my website, and I know that they're really great photos, but I need to update that. Review my pricing. If there's holiday client gifts that I need to get out, that's a good time for that. Cleaning. Let's be honest, like, I'm going to clean up the office. I'm going to like go through some of the paperwork that I've been filing, whatever. So some of those things are those, that back end work. And that is a big time that, that can get done. So I take advantage of the fact that there is a little bit of a, take a breather, and I can, set up for the spring, set up any marketing campaigns for the spring that I'm going to do, any personal projects that I've been wanting to do. Those are things that I have time to think more about during the off season. However, none of those things actually show that you're busy, nor do they really bring in much revenue. They help you in the way that you're kind of updating and refreshing rather your brand or your website or whatever that looks like. But one of the things that I try to do is keep my blog fairly busy. Now, I'm not a daily blogger, but the reality is that, my clients are gonna forget or that I'm even around, maybe.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Right, it's true. And so, again, I'm not a daily blogger. I'm not an awesome blogger, but I do try to blog every week. So I try to keep that up in the off season as well, because I don't want somebody to come to my blog in the middle of February and see that it's been a month and a half since I've done anything and think, oh, she's not doing anything, because they don't care that I'm like cleaning the cobwebs out of the corners of my office.
Right.
So one of the things that I do is, last year we had this great snow, huge snowstorm. Snow was on everything. I put up on Facebook that I would be happy to shoot a bride and groom in the snow. Somebody that got married this year, where are my brides? Who wants to do it? I got a huge flood of inquiry, a response to that, of people saying, I'll do it. I'll stand in the snow.
Yeah. You were the first person that I ever heard called last winter. We got a great snow. You're the only one. So
well, it just kept coming, so I had to look at it as great, or I would be really frustrated because the snow just kept coming.
I just really appreciate your attitude. That's all.
You know what? You're welcome. Because donuts.
Donuts. Some of them may or may not be covered in snow.
That's what I'm saying.
So
that was a good way for me to get out, get shooting, be creative. I had a lot of fun doing it. They were willing to get out in the cold, get back into their wedding garb. And I was able to put that on my blog. Now, some of you out there are thinking, I'm not going to shoot for free. I'm too busy for that. Well, then you probably don't need to be watching. I mean, I'm so glad you're here. But if you're so busy that I'm just saying. So bear with me in knowing that from doing like a free shoot and just to get my creative juices flowing and put some work out on my blog that showed that, I got inquiries that were paid inquiries because they saw that and thought, ooh, that's a great idea. I want to do a bridal shoot with you that doesn't necessarily have to be the traditional trash the dress. It can be just beautiful scenery that was very different from our wedding day and whatever. So that was a good thing for me last year.
Kind of like a little bit of a personal project.
Yeah.
Like it would be fun to go out and create something that's really different than what you create all the time anyway. But it was another way to reconnect with your couples. I love that. I think that's so fun. If only it would snow here.
If only. Well, it does. It's just a little further north. So one of the things that I loved you said is this is the time where you start planning personal projects, right? This is a time that you can plan to where, I can have this great shoot that doesn't have to be in the snow, but maybe, plan it for next February or March or whenever the snow stops there, which I think it stops in July and then starts again in September, October.
They get a tiny window. It's like our below 100 degrees is your non-snow day.
Right.
But I love that. I feel like that's what always drives us and also helps us reach our target market, our target clients, is creating our own work. And so planning our own personal projects. So I think that's just extremely valuable information for people to get out there. Like, take this dead time to plan something, even during your busy time. Even if you're planning it during your busy time, take this time to get it right and to plan out something spectacular. So I love that piece of advice. In particular.
And I think it's really smart that you said you try and keep your blog going. I help people with their blogs sometimes, and I always tell them, do as I say, not as I blog, because I have some trouble staying up on the blog, but it would be really smart in the off season. You could sort of pre-blog some things, or just make it a goal that once a week You're going to update that
Yes.
blog. And seriously, if you are updating your blog once a week, you are so much further ahead than most,
98%
than most
photographers,
everyone
yeah.
else. But I also heard someone recently say, you know, if you don't love to blog, stop blogging.
Yeah.
Like do other
Right.
things. Put your energy in another place
Mhm.
that can help your business, and that you're not just fighting something that you don't love, and you're doing it for the sake of doing it. But
Right.
but I think
I totally
it's
agree.
really smart
Yeah.
that you're blogging at least once a week.
Mhm.
Well, sometimes.
Well,
But now
Right?
I've said it. Now I've like said it and declared it, and so it has to happen.
We need to start an accountability group
Yeah,
for
That's
bloggers.
right.
you have set
That's
a
great.
goal for yourself to blog once a week. And
Sure,
I think
exactly.
Even
That's
during
right.
the
I
off
like
season,
that.
and
Yeah.
that's huge. That's good. Goals are good.
Goals are good.
Yeah.
Hey, Tara, you mentioned client gifts. Do you send out like a holiday gift to your clients?
I do. Yeah. And yeah, I do.
What do you send?
Well,
Not that I'm going to steal the idea and use it,
No,
but what do you
we're,
send?
we're not writing
We
it
just wanna
down.
know.
We're not writing it
Yeah.
down and eating
No,
Swedish
no,
fish.
totally not at all. No. Listen, and there are people that have even, way better ideas. But I have sent out. I try to think of it as, because most of the time their weddings they've been married for a little while now, a couple of months or so. Some of them almost a year. So for my Christmas gift, I try to pick something that is like a good newlywed household gift.
Mhm.
So I've done. Okay, this is like the lame train is coming in here,
The
but it's
lame
fine.
train.
Bring
fine.
it into the
I-
station. Bring it into the
It's
station.
fine. So I think saying lame train is what makes me the lamest. But anyway, so I have sent them like, what are those? You put a pot on it when it's hot. Oh my gosh, it's like
A hot pad?
a hot pad, I guess.
I'm
yeah,
sorry,
a
you
trivet.
put a what on it
a
when
trivet.
it's what?
A pot on it when it's hot?
Oh,
a
a
hot pad.
trivet. A
A
trivet.
hot
They're
pad. Yeah,
trivets.
trivet.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
And so, with their names engraved on it, because they can use it in their kitchen, whatever.
Sure.
I've done like monogram tea towels, because we're south of the Mason-Dixon line here, so everybody loves a good monogram.
It's true.
So, just things like that are little practical things that they can put in their house and use, and good little newlywed gifts like that.
Yeah.
I also, last year, and I think I'll do it again this year, my birthday happens to be in December. So
Well, happy
I did like a
birthday.
birthday gifting to them canvas. It was, kind of vote for your favorite photo, like which
Yeah.
couple's photo, and whoever won that, I sent them a canvas for my birthday.
That's
awesome.
really fun.
Yeah. So if you have
I
an
love that.
off-season birthday, you can make that fun and exciting.
Yeah.
But again, that wasn't blogging, but that was
Yeah.
something that like on Facebook every day I was like, don't forget to vote for your favorite
Right.
couple of the year, whatever.
Right. It keeps you active, but it's probably not that big of an investment in time
Right.
or in
Right.
resources and funds,
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
it ends up being one canvas, but it gets everybody excited, and it's an opportunity to get those pictures out there again. And and couples love to see their photos.
Oh,
I mean,
for
you've
sure.
made
Right.
beautiful images for them. They love to see them reshared and
Right.
posted up.
The other positive is you let people know about your birthday, and then maybe they send you something that you're known for, whether it's
Now you're on to me, Field.
donuts
Now
or
you're on to me.
bacons
That's
or
right.
Swedish fishes.
Right? We might just need to send you a pack of Swedish fish. Now, is it true, going back to the Swedish fish, do they actually have Swedish fish in Sweden?
They do. They do have Swedish fish in Sweden, but they don't call them Swedish fish.
They just call them fish.
Well, gum. They're not like us, like we have like all American ballpark franks. Like
Yeah.
we get it, guys. It's like an American thing.
Yeah.
I think we're the only ones that do that.
Yeah.
So they
Like,
just
have
call
to
them
put
like
a name
gummy
on it.
fish.
Okay.
But they are really into them. And I think they're a little better, but I gotta say, I'm still a fan of the Swedish fish here. Here's the other thing you need to know. IKEA is real. Like
Oh, yeah.
IKEA in Sweden is the same.
Is IKEA
the
here?
food that you can buy in IKEA to like bring home and feel really Swedish is
Yeah.
legit. Like I was impressed when I went to the Swedish, like in Sweden IKEA.
Yeah.
It was like being home. I was like, this is the first time that I felt like I've been in America, which is weird because it's Swedish.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
But yeah, you're in a Swedish store that
That's
you also go to in
awesome.
America.
I feel like we should have gotten a plate of Swedish meatballs.
We have an IKEA
Oh.
here.
We have an IKEA. It's not too far from us.
No, and Tuesday nights kids eat free.
What?
Are you
That's a good
serious
deal.
right now?
I did not know this.
Are you serious? So
I'm
yeah,
so serious.
we go on-
I mean, I
we
only
go
have
on
one
family-
kid to feed.
we
but-
go on family date nights, and we'll go and we'll go eat, and the kids eat free, and then we will go put all three of the kids in the like daycare area thing that they have,
and just
then
walk around
carrying-
IKEA.
and we have the IKEA family thing, so we get an extra half hour in the family deal. An hour and a
Nice.
half, Carrie and I just get to walk around and not have children and chat.
For that, you could practically take and sit like on one of those couches
All day.
upstairs and like watch a movie for an hour and a half.
I'm
You're like,
not-
we just
Have
went
you
to a
seen those
movie and it cost
commercials?
us $6.
I'm not going to say we have.
Sorry.
I'm also not going
Yeah.
to say
Say
we
we
haven't.
haven't.
Yeah,
Um,
right, exactly. Yeah,
they-
they have commercials of families like settling in and
Yeah.
watching TV at IKEA in the display.
Seriously?
Well, they
Yeah,
play-
there's like commercials here
Yeah.
of people like living in IKEA because you could.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Oh,
really
you could,
could if they
yeah.
didn't catch you.
Right,
So-
if the showers worked.
They have
There's that.
They
Yeah,
have
there is
different
that.
movies playing throughout the store, and so you get to pick what movie you want to watch, and you just go sit down.
Go to that little theater
Yeah.
for the night.
It's funny though; they have some really good movies. I may
amazing.
or may not have stopped and watched Wreck-It Ralph for 35 minutes the other day.
Well, there you go.
I've heard it's hilarious.
My kids had to drag me away.
Okay.
It's a great movie.
You're like, Dad, we need to go.
Yeah, I've seen it like 12 times, but I wanted to continue watching it.
That's awesome.
It was a good movie.
So, any other things besides like the snow shoot? Anything
Yeah.
that you've got planned kind of in your back pocket for this winter?
Yeah. So the other thing that I'm gonna try to do is for one or two of my favorite venues that I've worked with, I'm gonna make a sample album, like a smaller sample album of the shoot, the wedding that was there at that venue, and drop it off with them and say, hey, if you wanna put this in your pile of sample albums for brides to check out when they come check out your venue, I would love that if you don't mind. And usually they're happy to because it's updated photos for them to have of their venue. And so, it gives you the opportunity to leave your work there.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like a lot of times I go to venues and I'll see those books that are there and a lot of them are outdated, and that's no slight to the photographers that shot those weddings, but they're just older at this point. And so, it's good to refresh that. The vendors love that, I think. And
Yeah, that makes
sometimes you're probably going to drop off that sample album and it might go under a shelf that it doesn't get seen, but you got to spend money to make money sometimes. And I think that just a small, maybe like 10-page spread sample album can be a great way to, and if you've loved working at that venue, it's totally worth it to you, and you probably have a rapport with the vendors there anyway. And so the chances are that, they'd be happy to put your work out there. So that's one thing that you can kind of spend time on and do, and that can hopefully give you a kickstart for the year. Aside from weddings, one of the things that I have found that I've gotten people to get excited about is January shoots for families that are going to send out that like after Christmas card. Like do you know what I'm talking about? You've got
we
some of
didn't
those.
get it to you
Right.
in time for Christmas. Happy New Year.
Yeah, we take photographs in January.
Exactly, because people get busy, and so then they send out that Happy New Year, Happy Groundhog's Day, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day card, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just, and I've
love
gotten
that.
people, and so quick turnaround is important in that because they want to get those letters out. But if you can do some of those shoots in January and people get excited about doing that. But again, this is, because you're not that busy anyway, so you should be able to get a pretty quick turnaround to people.
Yeah.
And then they can send out those. And so even though it's cold and ugly, and if there isn't any snow, which is pretty, it's just dead trees and gross, just go somewhere. I mean, we have the Naval Academy here in Annapolis, which is great. But any cityscape, it looks the same no matter what time of year it is. So if they're willing to go out and it's a little bit of a colder day and just get in their cute family peacoats, then you can take some great family photos in, whatever downtown city area that you're in.
Yeah.
So.
And it's kind of fun to have something different. I've always wanted to get a couple for an engagement session to go out in the snow, like red pea coat on her and coffee mugs and cocoa. And I think that's fun to just shoot something again that's different and and that lets those people who missed out on getting their family photos done in the fall and getting those cards done, that they can still send them out. And even if you never even send cards, family photos are so important. I know as photographers, we're some of the worst about actually getting our family photos taken. But it really matters. Like I love the family photos that we have, and I wish we did it more. So I don't even care what the background is. Like I just want pictures of my little family, my little tree.
Yeah.
No, so I think that's huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have lots of family photos. None of them have field in them though. It's just one of those things.
Well, if you looked at a lot of our pictures, you would think that my husband is raising our daughter on his own because I'm not in the pictures because I'm taking them.
Yep.
So it's really, it's nice to get out there and have somebody else do that for you. And I think I love the idea of January sessions. That's really cool. Now, how are you doing all this at the same time that you are like actually building a house? Like, aren't you literally in the process of building yourself? Not just like someone's building it for you. Like you are actively involved in the process of building a house.
Right. Now, when you say you, I gotta tell you, I don't do a lot of building. I'm gonna keep it real. I like come to the job site and I'm like, oh, I really wanted that wall to be more here than here.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm the worst.
Yeah.
So my husband and my dad is actually a builder, and people always look at me a little bit crazy when I say that. It's not like it's his hobby and he's just throwing together some 2x4s. He is legitimately, that has been his job forever. He's a builder. And so we started the actual building process in May of this year. And yes, we are in the process. My husband is from a long line of farmers in Maryland. And so we're building on family farmland that was deeded to us, which is a huge, I mean, that's amazing. And then my dad's a builder. So it's kind of one of those ridiculous, like meant to be stories.
That's awesome.
But it has been interesting because we are literally building it and not just hiring a huge team. My dad has another guy that works with him every day full time. And then my husband's a teacher. And so he just works in evenings and on weekends. But yeah, we are building a house from the ground up. And right now it's, it's in process. It has a roof. It's got windows. We're getting there, you know? We're getting there.
So what is your dad's name?
His name is Mike Sullivan. Mike, yeah.
It's not Bob.
You were looking for Bob.
I was looking
Bob
for Bob
the Builder.
Yep.
Nope, sorry
So
to hear.
No, I'm sorry, you were incorrect. Your dad's name is Bob. Bob the Builder.
Right.
Yeah. So another chance for you though to get a question right. So at the end of every show we play a game with guests. It's important to know that there is a right and a wrong answer.
Good.
It is called Would You Rather. Have you ever played Would You Rather?
I sure have.
That was not the question, just to let you know. That was the correct answer for that one too. So
okay,
another
good.
opportunity.
I'm on a roll today.
Yeah. So have you heard of the store Target?
I have.
Do you like?
I'm quite familiar.
Okay. I was picking up a vibe there, and so I wanted to go with it. No. So the Would You Rather today actually has to deal with Sweden. Swedish fish, meatballs, sometimes mashed potatoes, and other things.
They eat a lot of mashed potatoes in Sweden too.
Yeah,
That's
well,
the thing.
they're delicious.
Yeah.
So would you rather? So here's your question, and you can ask a qualifying question to help you get the question right. But would you rather spend the rest of your life living in Target, or spend the rest of your life living in IKEA?
Oh no, that is hard.
It is. There's a lot to consider, and you can ask one question. On
one?
Yes, one.
Okay,
we're a little stingy with the questions. So
yeah, well,
make it a good one.
Fair.
We're more stingy
That's
with
fair.
time than the question.
Yeah, I would rather live in IKEA.
Ooh.
And here's why.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a horrible cook. And at Target, they don't serve food that is ready to, like, I'm just saying.
Oh.
So, like, you can go grocery shopping at Target and make things, but if my husband isn't with me, I for sure pick IKEA because no one's going to be cooking for me at Target.
See, this was actually a tougher question than most people realize. One, Target actually wins the food battle. Because there's more variety. It's like a Target Greatland, so it's a big. Well,
now wait a minute. You didn't say Super Target.
No. I just said Target.
Okay.
But I mean, you still chose correctly. IKEA was actually the right choice, so I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
But yeah, the food thing, it really Target wins. But the comfort thing, IKEA wins, and really you spend more time not eating than eating, unless you're me.
And the beds are assembled at IKEA, and they're already playing.
That's the best part. Yeah, they're already. You don't have to use the hex key to assemble the beds. IKEA beds are kind of comfy. Couches are even kind of comfy. And then you can change your kitchen like every day of
every day.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not going to be using the kitchen. I'm going to be in the food service
line. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's understandable. Yeah. Well, but I mean, you can go get like a cup from the kitchen and pretend that you made whatever it is.
And they have books there. They're all in Swedish, but they do have books. I mean, like, there's stuff you can do whatever. You could sit in the kitchen with your cup and your book.
Yeah, perfectly fine. Well, you got it correct.
Tara.
Yeah, so very good job. 2 thumbs up.
Thank you.
And the lot.
Thank you.
You win a donut. It'll be sitting here waiting for you.
Fantastic.
It's a real quick flight to Phoenix from Maryland, so just come on down.
Hop on.
Come on
I'd
down.
love to. Yeah, I can't wait.
I think Frontier flies here.
Yes, they do. I was actually just up there.
Oh.
I was just in DC.
Yeah.
So I was around your neck of the woods.
Well, next time you are and you don't come by to say hi, I'll be a little upset.
You should be. You should
Okay.
be. I am terrible, but I often bring great guests. So
Wonderful.
well, Tara, it was wonderful to get a chance to meet you and talk to you today, and thank you for the tips.
Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much. This was wonderful, and I loved getting to hang out with you this morning, afternoon. So.
Yes, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
With that, thank you everybody for tuning in and watching. If you have any more questions for us, Liz, Tara, please hit us up on the Facebooks, and we'll be sure to hang out, answer some questions. But otherwise, you guys go out there, continue being awesome. Those of you who have weddings this weekend, rock
Go
them,
rock 'em.
or other shoots, or if you're getting like accounting stuff and clients' gifts done. Gifts done.
Gifts done.
Gifts done.
Go get your gifts done.
Go get your gifts did. No, just go out there and do an awesome job. Remember to be true to your brand and all that fantastic stuff. And it'll be great.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll
Bye,
see you guys
show
next
tears.
week.
We love you.